Welcome to this webinar arranged by Elisa Videra and Pexip. Today we will be talking about global delivery and deployment and, among other things, the skills and knowledge required to make this successful. We have two great speakers with us today, Anton Eklund from Pexip and Vincenzo Saponaro from Elisa Videra. Hopefully, Vincenzo, I said your name correctly.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Good. My name is Lucas and I will be your host today. So before I give the floor to our speakers, I would like to go through a couple of practicalities. This webinar will be recorded in order to allow people to watch it later on. And if you have colleagues or friends or someone that you think would be interested in this topic, feel free to share the recording with them as well. We will share the link to this recording in an email after this webinar. So through the commenting field, you are also able to ask questions from our keynote speakers. We will reserve a few minutes in the end of this webinar for answering your questions. And you can find the chat from the panel on your left-hand side as this picture shows here. But now I would like to give the floor to our speakers for the day, Anton and Enzo. It's really nice to have you both here today. I'm personally very excited to hear what you're going to share to us, and maybe you could start by shortly introducing yourselves before jumping into the topic. Yeah. So, Enzo, would you like to start?
Yeah. Thanks, Lucas, for introducing us and me. I am Vincenzo Saponaro, as Lucas was trying to pronounce in the proper way, and country director of Elisa Videra, Italy. Elisa Videra, I would like to share with you what about Elisa Videra in a nutshell. Elisa Videra is a brand that came from the acquisition by Elisa Corporation, leading on providing a telecommunication service solution in Finland, by the acquisition of Videra, another Finnish company founded in 1993 that have been always working in providing video collaboration solutions. So Elisa Videra as such is on the market from around 10 years. And in these 10 years, we have extended our presence from the Nordics, where they have their roots, into in this global presence that is, moving from USA to Southeast Asia, and many other branches office around Europe. We have, of course, got the most important relevant certifications and partner accreditations for working and delivering such kind of solution towards our market and customers. We work with the most important, vendors like Cisco, Polycom, Microsoft, Samsung, Zoom, and Pexip. Pexip, that is actually our most important technological partner for providing a unified communication and collaboration solutions. Anton?
Yeah, so nice to meet you all. So my name is Anton Eklund, worked for Pexip as a solutions architect now for 2 months. So I haven't been with the company for that long, but it's already looking very exciting. I've been in the video conferencing arena for 12 years. I worked with 10 customers, with service providers, and now with Pexip. So it's nice to see the different ends of the table. Pexip, it's a company that not everybody outside the conferencing business has heard about. It was founded 2011, so a bit younger than Elisa. It was basically consisting of two companies in the beginning, Videxio and Pexip. And they merged about a year ago to a single company called Pexip. We have 300 employees. It's growing all the time. We're hiring all the time. And out of these 300 employees, 150 or even more are involved in the development of the product. So it's a major contribution to the development team we have. We also have more than 300 partners in 75 countries. And Elisa Videra is one of the major partners we work with. globally. And we also had a successful IPO back in May, and this was the first IPO, at least in the Nordics, that was fully virtual because of the COVID situation. So that was a pretty interesting one. Now, moving on to the offering that we have two different ways of consuming Pexip service. We have the cloud service, and we have an on-prem offering as well. And we do this because companies want to consume Pexip in different ways, depending on security issues and ease of deployment and so forth. The enterprise application, we call it Pexip Infinity. This is the on-prem one, and it's a very flexible deployment. So you can have many integrations and APIs and build workflows and custom builds, and you can choose also if you install it on a hypervisor such as VMware, or you can also have it on a cloud service, on a public cloud service such as Azure. So you can have it in your own tenant, securely installed, and nobody else will be able to access data. The cloud service, a bit different. So it's a complete cloud service where you can just sign up for it, and you can be up and running in just a few hours and consume the service. So it's a lot easier. We also offer a service level agreement on that service. So it's a pretty good offering. And also important to note is that the media stays in the region where you are, and all the data, the CDRs from the calls, are stored in the EU. So that's also good to know. Moving on to the on-prem solution that we call Pexip Infinity. The name Infinity basically comes from the fact that it can be scaled almost as much as you just have hardware and compute. So it's a fully virtualized design. So you can have it running on any major hypervisor such as VMware, Hyper-V, KVM, Xen. So you just pick the hypervisor that you use in your organization and build on that. So no need to learn new technology, backend technology. That's one of the key thinking we have. Also, the same goes for the public cloud we support. So you can install Infinity on AWS, on Azure, Google Cloud Platform. All of these are supported, and we have all documentation publicly available, so you can in very detail you can read how to deploy Infinity on these platforms. And the key thing here, why we maintain this on-prem option, is that you are in control, 100% control of the data, and this is becoming more and more important these times. Many organizations are valuing this. This is a high value to have data in your own network. The solution is also distributed. It means that you can install as many nodes, we call the Pexip virtual servers nodes, and you can have the nodes in any location, and normally you place the nodes as close to the user as possible, so you get a good quality, so you get less delay and less jitter if you have the nodes close to the user base. We also use something called smart scaling. So it's kind of an intelligent way of handling the data in video conferencing calls. So basically, if there is a global conference going on, we don't send all the video feeds in full resolution between the nodes, because that would use a lot of unnecessary bandwidth. So we kind of analyze the call and see what streams need to be sent to what node and to what endpoint. So some endpoints might need small pips and just one big image resolution. So this way we save a lot of bandwidth compared to many other solutions. and it makes it very bandwidth efficient. It's also customizable, so you can brand and basically hide if you want any Pexip or Elisa Videra branding. You can have your own company logo and company colors, so it can look and feel exactly like your company, and this is also a big key selling point for Pexip. And you can even go as far as embedding Pexip, the Pexip client, in your own, for instance, mobile applications. So if you have a banking applications, for instance, you can have the Pexip WebRTC client engine running there in the background and have it fully integrated. So that's pretty powerful. But now moving on to one of our key offerings, the cloud video interop. So this is something we've been doing for a while now, and we're doing it with the big ones. So we're doing it with Microsoft Teams, and of course Microsoft Skype as well has been there from the beginning. So we're fully certified to do integration with CVI integration with Skype for Business as well, and also Google Meet. So we're the only CVI provider that does all three of them. So that's a pretty powerful message that we can offer this. And so what does this CVI do? So we can basically integrate the standard video endpoints, SIP and H323 endpoints, enable them to call into meetings, so Teams meetings, Skype for Business meetings, and Google Meet meetings. And we do it in a way so the experience is fully native. So if you join from let's say from a Cisco or Poly endpoint, the experience is Cisco or Poly. You don't notice that you're in a Teams meeting. And the other way around, Teams clients will see the video endpoint as a native Teams participant. So that's good. And we have some additional features as well here. Basically, we just recently introduced what we call roasters on the video conferencing side. So if, for instance, if you have a Teams meeting, the video conferencing endpoints will see the Teams participant's name as a roster, and you can even have the pictures visible as well. So you can see pictures imported from Azure AD on the video conferencing side. So that makes the integration even more tight. We also have something we call lobby bypass. For some organizations, it's important to have the join experience as easy as possible. So when you join from inside the organization, from let's say from a Cisco or Poly endpoint, you just get directly into the meeting. You don't have to enter any PIN or any ID. The system recognizes that the endpoint is a secure endpoint belonging to the same organization, and you can just jump straight into the meeting. While you have external endpoints coming into the same meeting, and they are required to enter a PIN. So that's also a pretty nice feature. Now moving on, we have a global network that we've deployed, and you can see here in the picture that we have, I think it's up to 13 points of presence for Pexip, for the Pexip service. And what this means is that we have a close presence to the user base. So let's say if you're in the US and you want to use the CVI integration for Teams. So you have an endpoint and you want to join a Teams meeting. Basically what it means is that the Cisco endpoint or Poly endpoint will connect to the closest Pexip point of presence, ingress point of presence. It's the orange pops here in the picture. And from there, the call will of course then need to go to Microsoft Azure and access the Teams meeting and the Teams tenant. And for that, we also have a global spread of Microsoft Azure points of presence, and not as many, but still in every geographical region. So the call in this example I just gave you will stay in the US, and this will again cause less jitter, delay, and packet loss. So the overall experience of the call will be as good as possible. We also have 4 points of presence for Google Meet, so the same amount as for Microsoft Azure. Now, leveraging on this global infrastructure, Enzo will now talk about some use cases Elisa Videra has had in Italy and where Pexip was used to integrate with Microsoft Teams.
Okay, thank you very much, Anton. Leveraging on Pexip distributed video network and very important quality of the service, we have been able so far to provide towards our market a very powerful customized solution, mainly towards large enterprise. That is our target customer on the market because of our global service delivery capability. As I said before, we have been working on this business segment for more than 20 years, considering Videra from the beginning, 10 years as Elisa Videra, but in any case we have done so much experience that we do really understand the customer needs, and we do know how to make design, plan and deliver the right solution for the customer, and how to make it, to keep it up and running in the proper way by providing the right, management services. We have had on the market many different use cases in the large enterprise business segment. As you can easily understand, for instance, large enterprise has been growing a lot in the recent years because of different acquisition of other companies or for any other reason. So there are situations where these large enterprises, they have a mix of different technologies, video collaboration tools, audio collaboration tools. They are not able to talk to each other in the proper way. They're not able to deliver to the final end user the right easy way to access to these tools. In such kind of situation, we have been able to discuss with the customer, try to get the most important pains they are struggling with, and so decide to together what could be the right service evolution roadmap from where they are towards where they want to be by following such kind of different steps of reviewing, updating the existing old or updated platforms. By doing this, we have been able to provide customized solution, meaning that based on Pexip flexibility in that sense, we can provide to our customers on-premises solution because of security reasons, because they don't want to share on cloud some delicate information or data, whatever. So we can propose them the right on-premises solution with the right dimensioning of their own platform. We can, for instance, in this case of service evolution roadmap, we can even decide with the customer by managing a smooth evolution from on-premises to cloud, for instance, passing to different steps, moving some items from on-premises on cloud, keeping something else on-premises and something on cloud, so having this sort of so-called hybrid solution, or have everything on cloud and then offering the video collaboration as a service. That is, let's say, the trend actually on the market. So what do? We essentially listen to our customer and share with them our own experience. So with our customer, we can define the clear strategy for the communication infrastructure in order to ensure the better user experience, because the most successful solution is the one that has been used easily and the proper way by the final end users. So if the final end user is happy for adopting and using such kind of unified communication collaboration, then we did the right job. We provided the right solution to the customer. We can, build these platforms and deliver this platform in a way that we can make it simpler by giving exactly to the final end user the easiest way, the easiest workflow to enter and in a video collaboration session. So audio, video, on content sharing, whatever is it, we can do it and making it in the most simple way. We, as I said, we have a global presence. That's important also for giving global delivery and deployment services. This is something really important. We are proud of this because we have been able so far for very large enterprise to deliver thousands of different points around the world and designing together the right platform infrastructure, defining the right endpoint device to be dimensioned according to their needs in the different physical meeting rooms. So we can, with the customer, for instance, decide what could be the right solution for huddle rooms, small, medium, large physical meeting rooms, and then agree together what could be the right endpoints to be installed in these different locations. Then we will take care about everything in end-to-end managed service, like a turnkey solution. So we will deliver these equipments, install and maintain in the proper way during their life. So that's important from customer perspective, knows that they can have one only common interface taking care of everything as a so-called one-stop shop for delivering such kind of services. Last but not least is our capability to offer service desk support based on 24 hours, 7 days all the year, with the multi-languages capability, about 12, 13 different languages, covering all the different time shifts, meaning from South America to North Russia, South Africa, and so on. I mean, we can give the right support to our customer with the different service level agreement by offering very important monitoring tools that can follow the status of the platform, the endpoints delivered on the field, and so giving continuous update information about the status of the platform and the device, and in general of the overall services. With this service desk support, we can provide a single contact for break and fix support, meaning that whenever there will be something that is not going in the proper way, the end user they can send an email or making a calling our service desk, describing the problem, the issue they are having, and we will, in a couple of steps, solve that problem. This is important for the customer because they can say, okay, there is Elisa Videra with their service desk taking care of any trouble issue with our own unified communication and collaboration tools. They can in this way focus on their own business core. So no needs to have internal T department person that have to follow the platform, keeping it in the proper way, replacing the hardware that needed to be replaced, or keeping the software upgraded, and so on. We will take care about everything. So no needs for the customer anymore to taking care about their own platform. We will do it on behalf of the customer. Well, we have actually at the end of my presentation. I don't know if you, Lucas, got any questions from the audience?
Yes, indeed, we have a couple of questions. So thank you for those great presentations. I think the first one would be for Anton. Our audience is asking, is there a limit to how many participants can join a Pexip hosted meeting?
Yeah, that depends a bit. Basically, if you're on our service, our global service, there is a fixed limit. I think it's 100 concurrent for each video conference. So that should be plenty. Now, if you would need more, there is always the Infinity, the Onprem solution, and basically the way it works there is that. It's just defined by the infrastructure. So if you have enough servers, enough compute available, enough memory, it should be quite a lot. I think we've tested up to 400 or 500 in one meeting. Of course, it could become a bit busy in the meeting if you had that many, but that's the answer. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And I think we had a second question as well, and this seems to be like tailor-made for Enzo. So our audience is asking, regarding the service desk support, can you give us a bit more details about the service desk SLA and preventive monitoring? So,
Okay.
Enzo, is that possible?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question, actually, because we are really proud of our service desk support. We have been able to build, customize the service level agreement, or so-called SLA. These customized SLA are available because we need to be as much as we can to customer needs. So we can, define the service desk support from Monday to Friday, from Monday to Saturday, from Monday to Sunday, all the days during the weeks, or only during the working days. And then we can as well decide about from 8 in the morning, 8 in the evening, or whatever the customer need to be adopted. What is more important is on which topics we are focusing on providing our own SLA. We are focusing on platform stability, service desk hours, as I said before, incident classifications, and incident response and resolution times. So we can, in this way, customize in the proper way which kind of service desk support is needed by the customer. The other part of the question was regarding the preventive monitoring, if understood properly. Yeah, we have as well a very important tool for monitoring the status of our own platform and endpoints delivered around the world. This monitoring tool called Hummingbird is able to check if the endpoints is on, off, is online, offline, in other words. If what about the status of each hardware, the codec and others equipments around composing the overall video conference systems, and we can then flag an alarm in case of any critical situation. This in a preventive way, in order to avoid, for the final end user to have some problems whenever they need to use that physical meeting room where the video conference device has been installed. So in this way, we can avoid, frequent calls to service desk or mails, and this will easy customer user experience from one side and our service support from the other side as well.
Okay, thank you. I think that answered it really well, and I think that was also, I believe, the questions this time from our audience. And now we're actually closing the end of this webinar. This was indeed the last webinar in this series. We've had 4 of them on the topic of video at the center of digital transformation. We hope you enjoyed each one, but if you missed some of them or the previous ones, we have recorded each one of them for you to watch later on, like this one as well. And we will share an email with the links to all of them. So make sure that you check that out. And additionally, we'll have a summary of this webinar with the key takeaways by our keynote speakers, Anton and Enzo. We'll share that in the same email, so stay tuned for that. And if you would like to know more about us, Elisa Videra, please do not hesitate to contact us with all of your questions, and also follow us on social media, LinkedIn and Twitter, and visit our website for more information. But now, gentlemen, thank you so much for the great presentations. It was a pleasure having you. A big thank you to our audience for tuning in. And have a great day, keep safe, and meet video. Thank you so much.